Hey, Pokedad fan club, it's me, Pokedad, and today we're doing another episode on our winning rogues, which is a new feature on the channel that I've started. And today I have uh, Colby Conroy, and he has a spicy Buzzwole Garb list that he's gonna share with us today. Talk about how he did well at a cup. And so we're gonna get started. Colby, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about yourself and maybe anything that you'd like the people on the channel to know about you.
All right. So yeah, my name is Colby. I live in northern Maine. Um, so yeah, I'm just pretty much a full-time student, majoring in business and marketing. And yeah, that's it. I play Pokemon competitively for fun and dabble in Magic and a few other things as well. So
All right,
yeah.
very cool. Now, since you're up in Maine, I have a question for you. Um, is there a lot of events that you can go to in that area, or do you have to usually travel for even cups?
Yeah, so I have fortunately I have one card shop in the next town over. It's about 25 minutes from me. So that's the closest cup. I usually go to their league challenges and I go to the cups. And then after that, there's only two other card stores in the state that host cups. And then one of them is in Augusta. That's about 4 hours from me.
Hmm.
And then the other one is in Westbrook, which is about 5 hours from me. So I try to go to all three of those every quarter if I can. But it's kind of hard because it's a long ways. Like 5 hours is quite a bit. Fortunately, I have a friend who I play with who lives down there, and we can usually stay at his house. But still, their cups are usually on Sundays. So if I have work or class or something on a Monday, it's pretty hard to go down there and Sunday because usually if we make cut, which we usually do. Sometimes we're out of there like 6:30. So then, we got to eat supper and then drive 4 or 5 hours home. It's usually pretty hard on us. So we do try to go to as many of those as we can. But other than that, traveling like out of state is not something we've really done yet. I did go to Hartford regionals this year
Hmm.
because fortunately it was kind of close enough within driving distance. But other than that, there's really not a whole lot I can do living way up in northern Maine. Without the time and money, you don't really have a whole lot of that when you're in college.
Okay. Well, hey, yeah, 4 to 5 hours, that's a commitment. I've pretty much committed to any cups that I go to have to be like 2 hours or less. And I'm fortunate living in North Carolina, we have a circuit where there's, four or five within an hour. So I imagine it's pretty tough. But let me ask you this. So are you looking toward getting your invite? And if so, where are you on that journey?
So this year, this is my first competitive season. So I've done almost every League Cup that we've had in the state. I think I've missed probably three, and we've got two left the next 2 weekends.
Hmm.
So right now I'm sitting at 251 points. So this year, none of us, my two friends and I that travel around, none of us were really looking to go for Worlds this year because it's kind of all of our first season, really trying to be competitive. But my other friend, he and I are both about the same points. I think he has a little bit more than me, but we're both right around the mid to high 200s. So that kind of showed us like, hey, maybe next year if we really try, if we go to like maybe two more regionals and actually like make day two or something, there's no doubt in my mind that we can qualify. But yeah, this year it's not going to happen.
Okay. Any chance that if you get past that 300 point, you might make a run at NAIC?
I've been thinking about it. I did price it out, and I talked to my friend about it. So it's definitely something that I'm thinking about doing. But yeah, we got a cup next weekend and a cup the weekend after. So I mean, if we do well at those cups, I mean, it's tempting. It's definitely tempting. If I get probably a first or a second at one of those cups and I get close to 300, I don't know. I want to. So maybe I do have family that lives down in the Tennessee area, so it wouldn't really be. Or no, wait, Tennessee's Worlds.
Yeah,
So
Columbus.
Yeah, Columbus. Yeah, I have a friend who lives in Columbus, so it might be. I mean, I've thought about it. I've priced it out, but we'll kind of have to see. I'm still trying to figure out how we're gonna do the next two cups downstate. That's back-to-back weekends traveling like 3-4 hours downstate's kind of rough as it is. So.
Okay. Well, so let's talk about right now. I think most people would agree in the overarching meta. Right now, we've got Buzzwole, we've got Malamar variants with Ultra Necrozma seeming to be the most popular one. And then, we still got Zoroark hanging around. Matter of fact, I don't know if you watch Seagrove or know Jeremiah, but he's just top cut with like Trevenant Zoroark just to try to
Yeah, I
counter
saw that
Buzzle.
list. I like it. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like that list a lot.
But so tell me, is your local meta similar to that? Or do you have, like, sometimes in North Carolina, we have a lot of people skewing towards Zoroark. So that means playing Buzz makes more sense. But what about your local meta? Is it pretty much the same, or is there some things that you see a little more often?
Yeah, it pretty much our local meta pretty much mirrors the what's done well, the most recent regional, with a few. There's always like the same couple guys that always play Bulu. There's usually a couple guys that they try something new on like a league challenge, but then they just revert back to like an SB Garb or Drampa Garb because that's just what they're comfortable with. But yeah, other than that, it's pretty much just heavy Buzzwole, heavy Zora. Once in a while, you'll see a guy playing like Guardy or Greninja, and even Volcanion. But yeah, for the most part, it's just heavy Buzzwole, heavy Zoroark. And then recently, of course, yeah, we've been seeing some Malamar lists. And then the last cup, one of my buddies actually played the Lapras list that won, or it didn't win, but the one that did well at the French special event there, the
Okay.
Lapras deck that like cut there, yeah.
All right. Well, so so we're getting ready to talk about the rounds, but as we're kind of going into the tournament, what's your thought process and why, Buzzgarb?
Yeah. So pretty much everything that I'd been testing didn't feel great. On PTCGO, I'd been playing a lot of Ultra Necrozma Malamar, which I felt was the better variant. It might not be as consistent as the Necrozma version, but I just felt it was better, especially with like the Zoroark matchup and stuff. I just felt hitting the higher numbers with Ultra Necrozma was better.
Right.
But it just didn't really, I don't know. If you pretty much lose to like parallel and other things, and Garb unless you're running a high count of field blowers. So I just didn't really like it. I don't like relying on decks that are super ability dependent, with the exception of Zoroark. I'm pretty much a notorious like one trick Zoroark person. So playing Buzzguard was a little different. Uh, but just yeah, the night before, we were testing a lot, and I just didn't want to play Buzzrock. Like I knew that in my mind. I was like, I don't want to be the person that plays Buzzrock. I hate just playing like whatever's considered the best deck in format. I don't like doing that.
Uh-huh.
Um, so I was just trying to figure out what I could play that wasn't Buzzwole, and I didn't like playing Malamar, so I didn't really want to play Malamar. And I played Zoroark for like the past several League Cups, so I was like, people are gonna expect me to play Zoroark, so I don't want to play Zoroark. So it's like, what can I play that's not Buzzrock, Malamar, or Zoroark?
Yeah.
So I tested out, which isn't that much. There's not that much other than that. So I tested out like the Greninja GX with Latios, and that was just bad. That went terribly. And then I tested that Zoroark Executor deck and
Hmm.
thought that would be fun to play for memes, and that was just bad. And then part of me wanted to play like Greninja Break, and my friends pretty much told me that they'd hate me if I did that. So just like the night before, like after my friends and I finished testing, like I kind of just had like I set out a Buzz Rock list, and I was like, all right, like if I can't figure out anything, from the time I sleep tonight to the time I wake up, like I guess this is what I'm gonna play. So I went home and I laid in bed and I was just like trying random stuff on PTCGO. Like I was playing like Galissapod with like dumbbells. And I was like, oh man, like this is gonna be great. Like Buzzwoles can't one shot me. And I played like 4 or 5 games at like 2 o'clock in the morning on PTCGO, and it just went bad. So I was like, like maybe I'll give Xander Perot's Buzzgarb list like one more try because I did test that the night before, but I just didn't really like it. Like I played it with like the four nest balls and the three mysterious treasures, and I just felt like the four nest balls is awesome. Like I'm pretty much always getting my Buzzwole out, but I felt like I wasn't getting the Garbodor out as fast as I need to. I didn't feel like I was getting that out enough.
Hmm.
So that was kind of because I was like, this is just bad. Then if I don't have Garbotoxin out, then that makes the Malamar matchup even harder. And so I
Right.
just felt like it was meh. So I kind of laid in bed thinking like, but I still think Buzzgarb has a great matchup. I think it's set well in the meta. So I kind of went to bed thinking in my mind, what can I do to make it better? So in the morning when my friends came over, they were just kind of talking. They're like, yeah, just play Buzzguard, play that Buzzguard list. They got fourth place. And so I was like sleeving it up. And as I'm going through it, I'm like, oh, maybe I don't like the nest balls as much. Let's change it so there's a couple less nest balls and then make it four mysterious treasure. So as I'm doing that, I'm like, man, like I got a pretty good way to search out my psychic Pokemon now. So I saw like as I'm digging through for my Garbotoxins, my trash link was like right next to it. So I'm like, man, this would be cool if I could figure out how to put a trash lynch in here. Um, so it basically just turned into like, what can I cut to fit like either a trash lynch and like a couple rainbows in here. And as I'm doing the numbers on the rainbow energy, I'm like, rainbow just seems bad. So I was like, let's just see if I can throw two psychics in here and see how it goes. Like I had a couple secret rare psychic energies, so I was like, all right, like secret rare psychic energies, like two of those and like one trash lance. Like, hey, if it works, it works.
Yeah.
Um, but before that, I did know I wanted to play Ranger just because so many people hate on Ranger and Hey Fonte, like it's a meme. And I just, in my mind, I was like, I want to play Ranger. I don't care. I even tried to fit two Rangers in there, but I couldn't. So I ended up, I think the final version of my list, I think I cut two nest balls from the list.
Uh-huh.
I added a mysterious treasure, and then the trash lynch is in there. And then I really don't remember what else I cut. I'd have to look at Xander's list to compare the two. But yeah, so my version, I ended up having four mysterious treasure, I think two nest ball, and then two psychic energies, one trash lynch, and a ranger. That was like the big difference. So I just thought, hey, it's Buzzguard, so it's gonna have decent matchups, and then the trash lynch in there. If I run into like Buzzwole matchups, that's going to be great. Because the biggest thing I didn't like about Buzzgarb, other than not being able to get Garbodor online when I wanted to, was the fact that right now one prize attackers are suited really well in the meta
Hmm.
with Baby Buzz. So I was like, when you play Buzzgarb, you need to rely on those Jet Punches early game to set up the Knuckle Impacts later because you don't have the DNC and the Regirock and the Choice Bands like you do in Buzzrock.
Hmm.
So you can't really lead off with Baby Buzz like you can in Buzzrock. So I was like, man, I really need a one prize attacker in here to swing it. And so that was where Trash Lunge kind of just fit perfectly into the deck.
Okay.
And
Well,
yeah,
that
that's where we went.
that makes a lot of sense. I'm and when you sent me the picture, there was one card I couldn't determine, so I thought it was a third nest ball, but you're telling me you only played two.
I only played two Nest Ball. I think the card that you're talking about is it's a one of Choice Band.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
have that in here.
yeah, I think that's because someone else asked me that on Hey Fonte. It's like on the bottom. It's one of the secret rares. It's like I don't know if it's like a in between a
Behind the
mystery.
super rod. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a one of choice band.
Okay, we'll talk a little more about the list as we get toward the end. But let's talk about, so what tournament did you go to? Where was this one, the one that was close to you, or was this one that was a little bit further away?
Yeah, yeah. This was the one in like my hometown. So this was in Presque Isle, Maine,
Hmm.
at Eagle Hill. This was our League Cup, which we usually do expanded. But the last two League Cups we switched over to standard just because most of us that play kind of agree that expanded is just not a whole lot of fun right now. It's
Yeah.
just kind of stale. Although standard really, it can't say much better about standard either. But yeah, we just kind of wanted to focus on standard, especially where the other two cups in the state are standard, and the cup up here is the first one. So this gives us a little more time to practice because my hometown is a little bit smaller. I think we only had like 7 or 8 masters at this cup, I think. So whereas downstate we usually have closer to like 20 or 30.
Okay. So there was 8 masters at this cup. Now, so was it just 3 rounds?
Yeah, we did 3 rounds, best 2 out of 3, and then we did top cut of 4.
Okay. So tell me about your round one. What did you go against there, and how did you use this to win?
Yep. So my first matchup, I played against Buzzwole with Lucario. Because at first he started the baby Buzzwole, I just expected it was Buzzrock, and then he Brooklet held for Riolu. So I was like,
Okay.
oh, okay, like this is interesting. This is cool. So I pretty much just treated it like I would treat the Buzzrock matchup. I mean, I just went in. He was smart. He kept his Buzzwole, big Buzzwoles in his hand. Tried to save them for like a B string play. So I would just do a little bit of chip damage. I started off doing like 70 damage or something like that with a Fury Belt and a Beast Energy. Like 70 to the Baby Buzz. I did 30 on the Riolu because I really didn't care too much about the Riolu. Like he was, I could tell by like his face. He's just like, oh, if this guy doesn't know what Lucario's GX is, like he's just gonna do a little bit of sniping to this Riolu. But I wasn't really worried about it because I was like, okay, if you GX me with the Riolu, I'm either gonna come up with a Baby Buzz or Trash Lance and then B String because I'm running order pattern and stuff. Because at the time he didn't know that I was running Buzz Garb. Because when he turned one, the Brooklet Hill, I went after a Baby Buzz, or I think, or a Big Buzz. So I wanted to keep the Trebushes like kind of hidden until later.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I don't think I had a way to get them. I don't think I had a Nest Ball or a Mysterious Treasure. So about midway through the game, it progressed pretty much how I expected it to. He came up with a Lucario and Aura Strike to knock out my Big Buzz, and then I just traded with B strings and stuff. So about midway through the game, he had like 3 prizes left, and I had 2 prizes left. I had like no energy on the board. I had he had just knocked out my Big Buzzwole with energy, so all I had was a Garbodor with Floatstone, a Trubbish with nothing, and then a Baby Buzz. So I promoted the Garbodor with Flowstone, and I just evolved into Trashalanch attached to Psychic and came up and smacked him. Because I was like, I know it's game 1 of 2, and I kind of wanted to keep Trashalanch a secret, but I really didn't have a choice because I had no other way to power up the Baby Buzz for knockout. But his reaction was just so priceless. I was like, yes, like this is what I was going for. Even if I don't or anything, like just having a Trash Lynch and a Buzzguard deck, like just priceless. Like his face is perfect, and he was just like he turned around, he like announced it to like everyone else in the store. He's like, hey, he's playing a Trash Lynch in here. I was like, oh man, like come on, keep it a secret.
The cat's out of the bag.
Yeah. So game 2, pretty much went the same way. Like he, for some reason, like he didn't even care about my Trebushes. Like he just kind of left them there. Which I'm thinking like, man, you think he would kind of care about them a little more, knowing that there's a Trash Lynch in here, but he really didn't. And he was a little more careful of his items, but not to the point where it really mattered. So I did end up using Trash Lynch again game 2, and the game 2 ended with he took out my Trash Lynch, and then I came up and I like knuckle impacted with a Buzz, and then he Aura Striked me, but he was like 10 damage short or something like that because I
Mm-hmm.
had Fury Belt on my Buzzwole, so he didn't quite get it. And it was great. Like this was the best part. So I Rangered. I played Ranger so I could knuckle impact again because I'd already GX. And so I got like in the first series, I was so happy. Like I got both my Trash Lance tech off and I got my Ranger tech off. So I was feeling great after round 1. Yeah, I was like, I won 2-0. I played both my spices, and they both worked like exactly how I wanted them to work. So I was like super happy. And yeah, so that was round 1.
All right, so
Round
go ahead
2,
with round 2 then.
or well, I questions about that.
go ahead with round two. What happened next?
Okay, so round two, it was a mirror matchup basically, except they played like the straight copy of Xander's. I think it was Xander Perot who played Buzzguard, right, and got top four.
Was it? I think it was. It might have been Ian Robb.
Or oh yeah, that's what it was. Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry. So, yeah, I was
that's
thinking
okay.
Xander Perot
That's
the whole
okay.
time. Yeah, it was Ian Robb. Okay, so yeah, so he pretty much he played like a net deck version of that. I think it was basically the same 60. I didn't see anything
Hmm.
different. So he played that, and I was pretty comfortable with that because I was like, all right, like I pretty much have the advantage here because I have trash lanes. Like we're playing the same 60. I knew the matchup pretty well. So yeah, basically it was just drawn out like a lot of jet punches. You know, none of us really wanted to overcommit. You know, we're just spreading energy out on the bench, waiting for. It was basically who had the guts to take the first knockout so that someone could just go B strings. Uh, so yeah, pretty much just game one. Uh, he actually won. I couldn't get my trash lunch out. Like I just didn't. I don't think. Actually, I don't think it was that I couldn't get it out. I think it just for some reason I didn't focus on it, which I should have. That was a mistake on my part.
Hmm.
And then game two, I won pretty handily because I got trash lunch out early. I was like, all right, maybe he didn't see trash lunch game one. He knows I have it, but so he was playing a little more liberal with his items. Um, so Trash Lynch, I think I took a knockout on a big buzz and a big buzz with Trash Lynch on
Wow.
game two. Yeah, so I really got Trash Lynch got me some great mileage out of that. And then so yeah, we ended up tying. So then I went to round three as 101. And then round three was Malamar, Ultra Necrozma. Um, and we actually like the way that it worked out. I was playing against my friend. He was playing Malamar Ultra Cosma. So he was 2-0 and I was 101. So points wise, we figured out that like if he just scoops to me and gave me the win, then we both get a shot cut. So that's what we did, but we played it out anyways. So I ended up we only played once, and I beat him because it was basically just I got garb out super early, and he was only playing two field blowers in his
Uh-huh.
list, and he just couldn't find him. Like he played Sycamore like 2 or 3 turns in a row, I think, and he just could not get a field blower, and so I was just mowing him down. So we played one game like just to pass the time because he already conceded to me, so that we both get in the cut.
Yeah.
But I beat him the one round we played.
Yeah.
Um,
Just as a kind of side note, that's what I found. Like when I play Malamar, don't feel like I could play less than three, and I really want to play four field blowers simply
yeah,
because I feel like if as Malamar continues to get bigger and bigger, Garbotoxin is going to just continue to come in and try to stop it. And
yep, I
I
agree.
I feel like Malamar lists are getting really greedy because they're like trying to put Parallel City and Beast Ring and Elixir, and some of them are even trying to put Fury Belts in. And I'm like, where is the space? And
Yeah,
they're cutting their field blowers, and it's causing. I think that's why I'm thinking like this was a really good call for you because it pretty much just can shut down greedy Malamar players.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, because I was like, I was only playing 3 Flowstone. I wasn't even playing 4 Flowstone. So I had one garb out with a Flowstone on it, and like he's just playing Sycamore after Sycamore after Sycamore, and I'm just like, all right, like now's the turn. He just needs one turn, really. He just needs one turn with Malamar, and he's good to go.
Yeah,
And I'm just sitting there waiting after he plays Sycamore, and he's just sitting there, and I'm like, oh, maybe he doesn't have it. So yeah, it was. I thought he should have played 3 field blowers. I think maybe if he plays that list again, he'll play 3 field blowers. But yeah, in my alternate Cosmo list, I was playing 3. I felt the same way. That's partially why I didn't play Ultra Cosmo Malamar because I didn't think about it. I'd been testing it a lot online, like I said before, but I just don't feel like there's been an optimal Malamar list made yet.
hmm
Partially for that reason, there's just so many things and so many pieces that people want in there, and it's kind of hard to like compromise what you need. Because yeah, my Malamar list, I think I played 3 field blowers. But I also found I was greedy too. I mean, I made cuts somehow. I'm pretty sure I have Beast Rings and Elixirs both in there. So and Parallel Cities. I think I have all of it in there, but I think I cut a lot to do it. I think I'm like real low on like Guzmas and other things. So yeah, it's definitely hard because people also want like 4 mysterious treasures and like four anywhere from like 2 to 4 ultra balls I've seen in there. So yeah, people. I agree. Greedy is definitely the best word for the amount on my list right now.
All right, so back on track. So okay, so you're in top cut, just a cut to a 4, right?
Yep.
And so what seed did you come in at?
I came in at first seed actually with 201. I came in at first seed.
Okay.
My friend he was 2-0, but then since he like conceded to me, he went in at 2-1. So I actually went in as the first seed, and I think he went in as either 2 or 3. I don't know.
Okay. And so what did you play in top 4?
So in top 4, I played a Lapras deck, which was the one that I talked about earlier. One of my friends, he like messaged me like it was like 9 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock in the morning, or something like that, and registration starts at 11. And he was like, "Hey, I want to come to the Cup today. Do you have a deck I can play?" So my 3 friends and I sat down and were just like, "What can we give this guy?" And so we ended up looking online. We found that. The Lapras deck from the SPE in France, and that's what we gave him. We just gave him the same 60. Actually, I think we changed one thing. I think we took out like water energy and put in a 4th Lapras or something because we thought it should definitely have 4 Laprases instead of 3.
Okay.
So we gave him that, and he never touched the deck before, and he went like 2-1. He came in at 4th seed, so he kicked some butt with Lapras. It was pretty great to watch.
Yeah.
So that matchup was fun. I never like really played against Lapras, even back in the day when like people were playing quad Lapras. I never really played against it. So I thought, I was off to the races. I was like, jet punch and everything. He put down his Manphies. I thought a little too early, because I could pretty much 2-shot those with jet punch. That was great. Even without, I don't run DNC or Regirock or anything, but just with like a Fighting Fury Belt and strong energy, you're 2-shotting mana feed.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then it just surprised me how much, like, if I would go to like Knuckle Impact or what is his
Absorption.
Absorption? Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't even see. That's how much I play Buzzwole. I don't even know his GX. Yeah, if I'd go to Absorption or Knuckle Impact, his Lapras, I'd be sitting back like, okay, he's got no energy on board. Like, I'm good to go. I'm gonna steamroll this guy, and it was just crazy how he like just promote like Layla or something, and he would just go like Max Elixir, Manual Attach, Aqua Patch, Choice Band, come up and knock me out like that. He did that to me like 2 times, and I was just like, oh man, like I didn't know that Lapras could do this. Yeah. I should have known better, but I was impressed with Lapras. It came down to the first game. It came down to whether or not I had Guzma left in deck, which I did. So I won the first game with Guzma, and then the second game, it basically I had same thing. I needed Guzma. I actually won the second game with a Lele. He had a Lapras with like 3 energy on the bench, and it had already taken some damage from a Jet Punch. So I had my one of Choice Band on my Lele, and I had 1 energy on it. So I'm thinking in my head like, oh, I got this. I got Lele in my hand. I just promoted the Lele with an energy. I got no bench, so I'll just Guzma that Lapras up and win. So I attached the energy to my Lele, and then I played Lele from my hand for Guzma, and then I Guzma up Lapras. Then I'm just like, oh no, like I got a Lele in the active, and I got no way to retreat it. So I had an order pad in hand. I'm just like, okay, well, if I hit heads off this order pad and have Floatstone on the deck, then I win. If I don't, then he comes up with Lapras and takes his last 2 prizes off my Lele. So I hit heads off the order pad, luckily, and I had 1 Floatstone left in deck. So retreated the Lele and got the knockout with energy drive. So that was kind of crazy.
That's
Both
awesome.
games kind of came down to like some fluky stuff. So he was a little salty, especially when I hit the heads off the order pad and had the Floatstone in deck. But really, I mean, he had nothing to be ashamed of. That was the first time he played Lapras, and both games 1 and 2 came down to like me having exactly what I needed in my hand, and then on top of that, hitting heads off an order pad. So if none of those things had happened, then he would have won both those games. So those were definitely that was probably my the most fun series that I had the whole day. That was really fun playing against that Lapras deck.
Order pad
Uh,
for the win. I like that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was. Oh man, it was crazy. And then in the finals, it was me against my friend played the Ultra Necrozma list. He played against the other guy that played Buzzguard, and he beat him. So then in the finals, we didn't really want to like play it out because it was getting late, and like he lives like 3 hours south, so he kind of wanted to go home, and I wanted the mat, and I didn't really care that much about the points because like we're not going for an invite this year. So we just kind of like said, hey, you can have, I'll give you my packs, I'll take the mat, and then you can just say you won if you want. So that's what we did. But we didn't play it out or anything. But I don't know. I like to think that I'd have won if we played it out. But we end up somehow like this friend. We just end up playing each other like every tournament. It stinks. Like even when we went to regionals in Hartford, we played each other like round 3, I think it was, and we're just like really like we just drove like 14 hours to come here, and we have to play each other. Like this stinks. So the
Yeah.
first regional ever, we had to play each other. So yeah, we just did it that way. I took the mat. He says he won. He got the points and the packs. So, but I like to think I'm a winner for playing Ranger in a deck and trash range. So
Yeah, yeah. So we already kind of talked about those spicy techs. Um, would you play Ranger again?
100%. I'd play the same 60. If I played that list again, I'd play the same 60. I used Ranger 2 times, like both times were just super clutch. Because I used Ranger against Dawn Wings in our friendly match, I think, and then I used it to Knuckle Impact again.
Okay.
And I think I used it in the Lapras matchup too. I'm pretty sure I used it to Knuckle Impact twice in a row in the Lapras matchup. Because with the Fury Belt, yeah, I definitely did. Because with the Fury Belt, his Lapras can't one shot my Buzzwole, so I just knocked them back again. It was great. So yeah,
Yeah,
I would 100% play Ranger.
I never really
If
thought
I could
about
find a spot for 2, I'd play 2.
what's that?
If I could find a spot for a second Ranger, I'd definitely play 2 Rangers, but I think one's enough.
Yeah, I think Ranger's actually kind of well positioned because even like think about Lapras, it has to wait a turn to attack. Now I know a lot of people are like, well, you can just Guzma and use the attack again, but I don't know. Ranger could just catch some people off guard and
Yeah,
uh,
nobody saw it coming. Like Ranger was almost more of a shock to people than the Trash Lance. Uh, like they didn't see it coming. They're just like, wait, what? Like, because one game, the game against the like Buzz Lucario player, that's all I had left with like that Buzzwole. I didn't have anything on the bench, and so I knuckle impacted, and so he's just sitting there like, okay, like I win next turn because you can't attack again. I'm like, nope, I'm gonna lay for Ranger, and I'm gonna smash you again. So
wow.
yeah, yeah,
I was gonna ask you, was there times where you laid for Ranger? I mean, because that's
yeah.
such a surprise factor. Like
Yeah, I
they don't
lay
even
for
know it's
Ranger
coming.
against Lucario, the Buzz Lucario player. Yeah,
What about the choice band? You played the one of choice band.
yeah, that was huge. Honestly, that was huge. I never needed it bad enough that I searched it out with like order pad or anything. Order pad mostly. I think I used it for Nest Ball once because I started off and I like didn't have it. I had one basic and that was it. And I think it was a Lele. So I used order pad for Nest Ball once, and then I used it for B string like 2 or 3 times, and then yeah, I never had to use it for, and then Flowstone, I used it for Flowstone. But yeah, the choice band just kind of seemed to find its way in my hand, and it was always just kind of like, oh, great, like this is perfect right now. So it never was really anything that there were times when I like absolutely needed it and I couldn't find it. There were times when it was great that I had it. So I definitely would keep one up choice band. It really helps with Dawn Wings because Dawn Wings is resistant. So the
Mm-hmm.
Fury Belt doesn't really get you there. with Dawn Wings, and the Fury Belt doesn't really matter anyways because Dawn Wings is going to one shot you. And then in Buzzguard, you're not playing those damage modifiers. You're not playing Dancy and Regirock.
Hmm.
So you really need like that one of choice band, and then you get like a strong or the beast energy. That really helps. That makes it so that you can actually get a knockout on Dawn Wings with Knuckle Impact. Because if you can only get a knockout on it with Absorption and then like a Jet Punch Knuckle Impact, then that's okay. Because that's what I had to do before. If I couldn't get the choice band, I usually like try to Jet Punch
Hmm.
onto the Dawnwings, like on the bench, I'd try to like use them up an NK or something and jet punch that and then put 30 on the Dawnwings because that would fix the math that way.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, other than that, you had to have a choice band. So the one up choice band is definitely great. You could probably cut it if you wanted to put something else in there, but I think it's nice to have.
Okay. So you're saying right now that you think this is the 60 that you would play again, correct?
If I really wanted to like go try hard at the cup this weekend, I'd play the same 60. I'd play this deck for the next two cups. But since I did so well with this deck this weekend, and I'm not really shooting for an invite, I'm probably going to play something a little more fun at the next cup because even though this last cup was in like my hometown, the cup downstate well, actually not next weekend. It's the cup the weekend after. That cup's kind of like what I consider my home store, just because like I'm just pretty much friends with everybody there, and that's kind of the community that I like the most.
Hmm.
So when I go down there in a couple weeks, I'll probably play something a little more like trolly, a little more fun. But next weekend, I don't know. I might play the same 60 again, or I might play something different. But yeah, this list. If I had to go to like a regionals tomorrow, I would play this 60, like
Okay,
100%.
cool. Now, now, if you were going to play something trolly, what do you have in mind?
I mean, I really want to play like Zorak, Alolan Executor, and have it work good, but I just tested it, and I don't know how that guy did so well, and I couldn't get it to work. I just maybe I'm not smart enough, but I just couldn't figure it out. I didn't like it. But I don't know. I'd probably play something like either Pumpkaboo or Sylveon. I really love Sylveon. The one time I played Sylveon, I actually did really good. I was like one game away from making top cut, but I misplayed. I was playing against Metagross, and I was actually like smashing them. And it was back before rotation, so I was playing like a one-up Flareon in my Sylveon list. So the Metagross player didn't know what hit him. I just started smashing him. But then he put down the stadium that makes it so metal and fire Pokemon don't have weakness. And I field blowed that away because I was an idiot. So then just started smashing my Sylveon's for weakness again.
Oh,
Uh, but I kind of want to play Sylveon again. But I'm also leaning towards Metagross. I love Metagross. I think it's a terrible deck, but I really like Metagross. So I think I'm gonna play like something. I've been toying with like some sort of like weird Metagross build. So I kind of want to do something like that. I really like. There was a list that someone posted on Hey Fonte. It was from like a Japanese event. It was like Ultra Necrozma Metagross. So I kind of want to try something with that. So I'm probably gonna either play like Metagross or Solgaleo or something, just like some weird clunky stage two deck that's just not good. But try to do all right with it. I've been playing like Solgaleo with order pads online, and that works pretty good. So maybe I'll try that out.
that's cool. Well, anyway, that's all the questions I have for you. Do you have any acknowledgments or shout outs or anybody you want to, give
Yeah.
acknowledgement to?
So I'll definitely give a shout out to my two friends, Logan McCarthy and Tyson White. I mean, they're my testing buddies. They're my travel buddies. We go to pretty much all the cups together. And somehow Logan and I always manage to play against each other. So they're the ones that have to listen to all my bad dick ideas and try to talk me out of playing like just terrible things. And they have to put up with my crazy ideas like a trash lynch and two psychic energies and a buzzguard. So yeah, shout out to Logan and Tyson, and then also Finnegan Lynch, who is I guess I'd consider my coach. I've been coaching with Finn, and he's kind of like the guy that I try to talk to if I got ideas or if I need help or anything. So shout out to Finnegan and Cutter Tap. So
Okay,
that's
cool.
that's pretty much it.
Well, I want to just thank you for coming on and doing the interview. For those of you that are watching, give us a like. I mean, Colby, isn't this an awesome deck? Give us a like for the deck idea. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe and put a comment below. Tell us what your wild rogue deck idea would be in the comments below. Until next time, we'll talk to you later. Pokedad Fan Club, I'm signing off. Bye.